What's good? Today we are talking about how to pick the perfect price without overcharging or uh or in not undervaluing yourself, right? So you don't want to overcharge, but at the same time, you don't want to undervalue yourself, and you don't want to overthink it. What if I told you that you spend all of this time and energy wanting to help, pouring it into the program, you know, doing the research, putting together the curriculum, saying this is what my offer is going to be, and then guess what happens? You realize that, hold on, I, they ask you how much it costs. You're like, I don't know, right? So that's where we don't want to be, right? We want to make sure that you're in a position to charge what you feel like you're worth, and pick your price appropriately, because when you do that right, more people are going to want to rock with you. So that's the idea behind today. So there's three big keys we're going to be focused on today. Number one, why charging more actually gets you better clients. Ah, right. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to charge what you're worth, even if you're not the biggest and the best expert yet. I'm not the best in the world in what I do, right? So how do you charge what you're worth, right? So we're going to talk about that, and then we also going to talk about why the right people will pay and how to find them. Why the right people will pay and how to find them. All right, so that's what we focus on. Alton, good to see you. Alton in the building. My guy, glad you're here. Good to see you. All right, so that's the objective. That's the objective what we focus on. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and by the way, let me make sure y'all can hear me. We stream a live off YouTube right now. Shout out to everybody that's in the playbook, the coaching and speaking group. And here we go. I'll make sure y'all can hear me perfectly. I think we good on that. Here we go. Bang. All right. So all right. So that's what we focus on today. Now, here's why this is important. There was a point in time when I began and I didn't really know how to price myself. So I came out the gate. This was probably like my first couple years in the game. And I started looking at what other people were charging. So I'm looking at ET, 2, 3 thousand. I think Tony Robbins had something was 3, 4, 5 thousand, right? And I'm like, oh great. I'm gonna come out the gate. They doing what I'm doing. They coaching. They helping other people. I can do the same thing. So guess what I'm going to charge? $3,000, baby. Yeah, we charging 3 grand. So that's what I said I want to charge. Now, just that's what I said I wanted to charge. Now, when I started going around and telling people, now mind you, I'm fresh out. I'm fresh in the game at this point, and I started telling people I'm charging 3 grand. And guess how many people I got to take me up on that offer? Donut. I couldn't get anybody to take me up. And you start beating yourself up, man, am I really cut out for this? Do people really care? Are they really gonna pay for what I have? Am I charging too much? Then we start to overthink it. And so I didn't really know how to price myself at first. But over time I realized that they have a lot more experience. If I'm looking at Tony Robbins, I'm looking at ET. Tony Robbins got like I think he said he's like mid 60s or something. I think he has like 48, 49 years of experience in the coaching industry. He's one of the people that really turned it from a traditional sports where everybody was thinking of coaching. Most people were thinking about the traditional sports route when it came to coaching. People weren't necessarily thinking that, oh, you could coach a regular person or you could do life coaching. Like he was one of the people that put our industry on a map to where people could really know what it is. I think he commercialized it. If you ask me, I think Tony's one of the people who really commercialized coaching outside of sports. So like in the 90s. So but he's been doing it for a long time. And then when you look at it, ET the hip hop preacher, I mean, somebody who's been doing this for 20, 25 plus years, and working with the NFL, working with the NBA, working with Fortune 500 companies. Tony Robbins was coaching presidents of countries. Like, so I'm thinking that I'm gonna come out the gate naive self for me, my first 1, 2, 3 years in the game, and I'm just gonna be like, yo, I'm charging 3 grand. So here's the thing, right? Now that doesn't mean you can't do it, but here's the reason why I couldn't necessarily get it is because I didn't have any coaching, I didn't have any mentorship, and I wasn't even, and the value that I was providing didn't match to the value that they were providing. You know what I'm saying? So, so there's a lot of nuances and stuff too. But I mentioned all that to say is because I didn't really even know how to price myself to even make it worth somebody feel like they should pay for that. You know what I mean? So, and it's industry specific too. But so anyway, so I was having some challenges with that. And I'm like, man, like, how do I really price this thing? So let's jump into the first thing we talked about. So um, number one is why charging more actually is going to attract better clients, right? So with that being said, there's no right or wrong. You can charge more, but the issue wasn't the fact that I charged more. The issue was the fact that I didn't know the value that I brought to people. That's key. I was charging more, but I didn't really know the value. But here's the thing, though: you want to charge more. You want to come into the game offering higher ticket services, because what that does is that allows you to get better quality clients, which is really what you want. Because this is what most people think. They think, well, if I charge less, I'm going to be able to get more clients. But getting cheap clients doesn't mean that you're going to grow a successful business, right? You can have 5 clients and get paid the same amount as 1 or 10. So, like, I'll give you an example. You might say, I'm going to charge $100 for my service. And okay, so then for you to make $1,000 a month, you got to get 10 clients, right? Or you can get 1 client and make $1,000. So you say, okay, well, which one is better? Well, I'm gonna tell you this. One, if somebody pays $1,000, they're going to be more serious than the person that pays $100. That's just a fact. The more people pay, the more they pay attention. Second, you're going to have more overhead. So you realize that, okay, now that you have 10 clients, you got 10 people hitting you up, you got 10 people that need help, you got 10 people asking you questions, you see what I'm saying? So having more clients just because you're charging cheaper doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to build a super successful business. That just means you have more people to manage. You have more customer service to manage, right? So when you actually charge more, you pay more attention. One of the highest price programs I paid for was like a mastermind, and it was $15,000 for this program. When I tell you, this was years ago. When I tell you, I've never like I paid the most attention in this program in any program that I've ever paid attention to. They could have just said one little thing, I'm on it. What you need me to do? Why? Because I paid enough where I felt it. And I'm like, yo, I gotta, like, the amount of money that I paid for this program, like, I'm going to do everything they tell me. Period. Like, that's not even a question. So that's the objective of it, is that just because you're charging more doesn't necessarily just because you charge less doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make more money. And also, typically you get worse clients when you charge less. So your goal is to charge more, and your goal is to realize to actually get more quality clients. So that's what you want. But obviously you got to know, but you want to make sure that when you're putting out an offer, you want to, that is going to be something that's going to be worth it. That's why when I work with my clients, one of the things I talk to them about is I'm like, yo, whatever you want to charge, I want you to make it 10 times more valuable. You ever heard somebody ever say that? Make it more valuable than what you're charging. That's the reason why they say that, right? Because you want it to be way more valuable that it's a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may not pay, $30,000. You may not pay $30,000 for a Honda, but if somebody told you they had a $250,000 Ferrari for 30,000, you'll find it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you may not pay $5,000 for a bike, but if somebody came through with a Lamborghini, you'll find $5,000 for the Lamborghini. But why? Both of them is forms of transportation, right? Is it really because you can go from A to B? It's just because the value of the Lamborghini costs more. Your perceived value of that costs more. So because my perceived value of it costs more, I'm willing to find the money and pay the money for that versus a mountain bike. You see what I'm saying? So like that's the idea behind it. And that kind of brings us to number two, which is how to charge what you're worth, even if you're not the biggest expert yet, right? So here's the thing, right? You charge what you're worth based on the transformation. You charge based on the transformation, meaning people think I'm not the biggest expert yet. One of the things that I thank God I got over it pretty quickly, but at first there was a point in time where I thought I had to be a millionaire to help people with business. I'm like, oh, I didn't make a million yet. Can I really help people? And I had to question myself a little bit, like, I don't have the biggest and best results yet. This person has more results than me. This person is further ahead than me. And I'm looking at everybody else, not realizing it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. It matters, can you help this person get a result? And the reason why people are willing to pay other experts and gurus who seem to be further along than you is because they perceive that if I work with them, I'm more likely to get the result. That's really the punchline of this whole thing. Is like, you can work with people. You don't have to be the number one person in your market. If a scale from 1 to 10, 1 is you don't have any experience in your field, and 10 is you're the most experienced in your field. As long as you're somewhere in between that spectrum, you can help somebody. Because even if you at a 4 on that scale, you got some experience. What that means is anybody who's a 1 or 2 or 3 on that scale, just in terms of experience, you can help. And then guess what? Over years, you might become a 5 or 6, and then you can help more people. Then over the years, you might become a 7 or 8, and then you can help everybody that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, I give you a practical example of this. So when I really started working with coaches, I didn't know, like I didn't have everything. I didn't know everything that I know now. So when I started, I was like, cool. I know how to put together these coaching programs. I've learned that through research and helping people, and I've learned how to put together a signature speech. So I'm like, great. You know what? All I'm going to do is I'm going to help people put together these programs and then do a signature speech. I was not telling them I can help you make 10,000 a month. I wasn't even asking these on my strategy calls. That wasn't my goal at that point, because I was not even at 6 figures at that point. So, and at that point, I wasn't even, I was still just trying to make my first few grand. So, but I said I can help you with these programs. And then over time, guess what? So let's just call that on the scale. Let's just call that a 3 on the scale, right? Okay, now I'm learning how to create content. So I'm learning what to do. I'm learning how to speak better. I'm learning how to have more energy on camera. I'm learning about the lighting. I'm learning about camera. I'm learning about sound. Now I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm understanding a content game. I know how to come up with topics for content. Okay, great. So then at a certain point, I'm like, I can help you with content. And then I started helping people with content. So let's just say that puts me up to like a 4 or 5 on a scale, right? Now I'm helping people with content, boom. And then I started learning about ads. And then I'm like, okay, then I'm learning about lead generation. So then I'm like, okay, I can help people with lead generation. So then now, I'm figuring out, okay, how do you send the DMs? How do you send the messages? How do you do these lead magnets? Okay, how do you create, how do you focus on these landing pages? Okay, well, how do you run these ads? What do you got to do? But then I started becoming good with generating leads, booking appointments. Then I started doing that. So let's just say now I'm at like like a 6. Let's say I'm at like a 6 now, right? And then now I'm generating leads. I'm still at this point, not even saying I'm going to be making you all of these sales. I'm not going to help you make all these sales. I'm like, yo, I can help you meet with people. Then I'm like, okay, I've been making a few sales consistently. So then at this point, I'm like, okay, cool. Listen, I can help you make some sales. I could be make your first sale. I could help you make a couple sales. It wasn't 10K a month. I could help you make a couple things. So then now, and then I started helping that. So then now, let's say that put me at like, a 7. And then, now let's say 7, 8, 9. I don't know where I'm at on the scale now, but I can tell you this, like, I've been able to make 6 figures, and then maybe it'll go higher. It'll go higher once I make 7. But I'm still at the point where I don't tell people that I can help you make 7 figures. Have you ever heard me say I'm going to help you be a millionaire? You don't see me. I don't market that. I don't promote that. Right. At the time we're doing this training, we'll see where we at, as time goes on. Right. But because I have not been able to do that yet, it's on the way. But we're learning, we put the processes and systems in place, and things is happening. team is growing, right? But until I'm able to do it consistently, I'm not even going to say that I'm going to help you with it. So the whole objective behind this is help people with what you can help them with. Help people with the experience that you have. And when you think about that continuum, that's all people really want. They really just want transformation. And most people I work with, they want, especially they just getting started, like, yo, if you come and get extra 5 grand a month, 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, like I'm good. You know what I'm saying? 30 grand, I'm good. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then by the way, when I do get ambitious people that are like, yo, I want to make 80, 90, 100,000 a month, I'll be upfront when I'll be like, look, I have not achieved that yet, but I said, look, we're gonna get there together. You know what I'm saying? And I let them know that. And guess what? They still cool with it. They're like, I bet. Why? Because but when I'm talking to them, most of them are still not even at 3 grand a month, 4 grand, 5 grand a month. They just have ambitions to get to that, but they're not even making that yet. They just have ambitions to get to it. You see what I'm saying? So it's about the transformation. And when you can prove and you can show people, hey, I can actually get results, that's when people are going to be able to trust you more. And that's the reason why when I work with a lot of our folks, I'll be like, yo, let's just get a couple beta clients. Like, let's just get some people under your belt. Let's get some experience because that is going to literally be the very things that they need to see and hear for them to feel confident that you can help them. Because if it's just you, they'll come up with a bunch of excuses and say, but this is your scenario, and you're not like me in this, and you have special circumstances. But when you could point to other people and say, look, it ain't just me that got the results. I helped this person, this person, this person. Now it's like, oh, okay, they've been helping other people. So obviously, it's they're doing something well, for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I see you in the building. Destiny was good. What's up? What's up? Let's go. Y'all lit right now. All right. So that's the second piece of it. Now let's go to the third piece, right? Why the right people will pay and how to find them. So write that down. Why the right people will pay. So this is so interesting, right? So, I get people who come to me sometimes like, oh man, I can't get people to pay, to pay my prices, or, it's just like, it's all these people are broke. Right. And here's the thing, right? And I've been talking to some of my clients about this. What's interesting is that you will have some people that just can't afford. They can't click their heels and make it happen. But I can tell you this, that the majority of people that I've actually had who came to me that could not afford it is originally I used to get a lot of that, and it was because they didn't see it as a must-have investment. It was like cool. It was like a nice to have. It would be like cool if I can do it. But when you get better at knowing how to have these conversations and being able to position the value that you have for your ideal client, they're going to be like, yo, I got to make it happen. I've had this on more than one occasion where we had a recent situation where somebody could not necessarily pay the entire investment up front, but we were able to work out an installment in a situation where it was like, okay, cool, look, this is what I could do right now, though. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to I can't afford the whole thing right now, or you know what I'm saying? Because think about it like this: you bought a car, right? A lot of people have cars, right? Especially my millennials, whatever, right? So let's say you got a car, and most people when they go to the dealership, they don't pay in cash for their car, right? And I asked one of the members this the other day. I said, "Well, how much is your car?" He was like, my car's like 25,000. I said, "Okay, so when you went to the dealership, did you bring a briefcase of cash, or did you take your credit card, slam it on the table, bow, 25 grand right now? Let me go get that. I need that." Right? Did you do that? No, right? Most people don't. You go to a dealership, somebody, think about this. They're selling you a $25,000 product. Think about that. They're selling you a $25,000 product. You're going to the dealership knowing you ain't got $25,000 in your account right now. Think about this. I'm walking you through the psychology of why people will pay for this, right? So you go into the dealership Now you having these conversations, but what they do, they say, you know what? You don't have to pay for the whole thing up front. Boom, we're gonna work out the terms. Okay, can you pay this month per month? Boom, boom. They work it out, and you don't look at the 25 grand. What we do? We say, you know what? I can afford 300 a month. I can afford $450 a month. You know what? I can do that to get this car. Why? Because you perceive the value that you're getting for this product as valuable enough for you to be able to pay a monthly installment. Not for a year. Most times, what? 2, 3, 4, 5 years you're willing to pay installments for this product, for this one product, because you see it as valuable enough, right? So, and so that's what I'm saying is like when somebody sees something as a must-have, this is what's going to make them say, I'm willing to get the money. I'm willing to put it on credit. You know what? Let me call. I've had people that was like, yo, let me call you right back. Call me back a couple hours later. It was like, y'all had to ask a couple people for some money. And it was able to do it. Right. Like, so there's like different ways. Hey, you know what? I can't do the whole thing right now, but boom, let me give you this right now. And then let's, you know, can we wait a couple days? And then on Friday, people are going to be more willing to do that when they really see it as valuable. You know what I mean? So it's like, these are the things that's going to allow you to be able to take your business to the next level. But realize that it's about making it worth the price, making it way more valuable than the price. And that's really like the punchline of this whole thing is that, you know, when, you know, you get confident when you start helping more people. You get confident when you really understand the transformation that somebody's going to have in their life. Which, by the way, I have an exercise. You can try this out. So look, I'll give you a little call to action homework on this one. I want you to do what we call, if you've been having apprehensions about what you charge, I want you to do what we call 50 reasons, the 50 reasons exercise. And I give this to all of my clients that's nervous about charging higher ticket prices. 50 reasons. I want you to write down 50 reasons on why this is super valuable in your client's life. 50 reasons. And these could be direct or indirect reasons, right? So whatever it is, like if you're helping people with health, obviously is lose weight. Maybe they'll be stronger. Maybe they'll have more energy. Maybe they're going to be more confident in life. The kids is going to look up to them. You know, they're gonna be able to walk down the aisle to their child's wedding. You know, like they're gonna be more active in their business. They're gonna go on more dates and be in more relationships. They're gonna make more money. Like you could come up with, and it doesn't matter what niche you have. Do this 50 reasons exercise because this is going to give you the confidence to make you say, you know what, I'm actually not charging enough. Like I feel like they're getting way more value. And I've done this exercise on more than one occasion. And this is some of the initial juice that got me more confident in charging what I'm worth. But then guess what? You do this exercise like once or twice. And then what's going to happen is as you start to attract more clients, your clients is going to be evidence that, okay, I'm really in providing value. And then once you start getting more people results, you start getting more clients. What happens is you start to get the confidence because now you have reference experience, right? And that's the key. When you have reference experiences, this is where the confidence comes from. When you're starting, you don't have any reference experiences. There's no way you could tell me that what I'm doing right now is not valuable after we've had close to 500 coaches come through this program. Our program called the Playbook to Coaching and Speaking. We've had almost 500 coaches come through this program. I speak to at least 1,000 a year, and I'm talking about individually between me and my team. Between me, that's just me, and other people on my team, hundreds every year. Right? People are being impacted through videos and trainings and clips. Yo, this was valuable. Yo, coach, thank you for the training. Yo, coach, thank you for the live. Yo, this was valuable. People hit me up on the side. People sending me DMs. People getting me sending me text messages. Oh, it's so valuable. On our calls, right? At the end of every one of my calls, I say, what did you love? What did you learn? Yo, this was valuable. Yo, thank you, coach. Boom, boom. On the end of our trainings. Think about all of the reinforcement. This is why I know what we have works. They're getting the value and they're getting the results. Yo, thank you. I never got this amount of leads before. Yo, thank you. Oh my God, it took me 2 years to put together my program. Oh my God, I was so nervous to go live. I was so nervous to put out content. Oh my God, I didn't even know how to sell. We had a lady in our program named Tina who she started, wasn't making any money, helping a lot of people out for free. Worked together with her for, and in less than a year, she hit her first $28,000 in a month. You know what's so crazy? She didn't even know how to send out invoices when we started. She was like, "Oh yeah, I remember you told me how to send out invoices." Come on, like, so you can't tell me what I have is not valuable because I have evidence, I have proof, because I continue to help people and people continue to get results. And I've been in the game for a decade. Just this, I've been in business since 2012, and then I've been coaching since 2015. So what are we really talking about? Events, right? I do about 100 a year between virtual and in person. 2-time best-selling author. We have hundreds and hundreds of people that have came through this program. You know, knowing a lot of the top name influencers on a first name basis, went to their conferences, been part of their programs, et cetera, et cetera. Speaking engagements. What are we talking about, right? So I just mentioned that not to beat on my chest and say, look at me, but I put in the work. I put in the miles. I didn't quit. I didn't waver. I didn't give up when it was hard. I figured it out. I got the coaches. I got the mentors. I signed up for the programs. I signed up for the master classes. Paid big money, paid small money. Got the one-on-one help. Kept learning, kept trying, kept training, kept bringing people in. Keep making the program better. Keep making my services better. Keep asking questions. And then guess what? You become more valuable over time. So now when we get clients, they get to learn off my back. Our clients get to learn off my experiences, so they don't have to go through the decade of headache. They don't have to learn from scratch. That's the whole point of our industry. That's the whole purpose of our industry, is to save time. The whole purpose of our industry, of why people will hire you as a coach, is to collapse their time frame. They don't want to have to go through all of the trials and the tribulations and lessons that you went through. Just give me everything you know, and let me start here, right? Let me just start here, right? So that's the whole idea behind it, is giving them that experience to collapse time frame, because people ain't got time. They want to get things done quick. They want to learn faster. So that's the whole reason our industry exists. If that was the case, everybody would just start from scratch and trial and error and try to figure out. But the smart ones know time is your most scarce resource, and I want to be able to get it done faster. All right. So that's what I would say. That's going to conclude today. Hopefully, you got a lot of value out of this training today. All right. Being able to charge what you're worth. I don't want you overthinking it. I don't want you overpricing. I don't want you underpricing. You know, there's no right or wrong in terms of what you charge. It's just about making sure that you clearly put together the offer that's valuable for your audience. See what they're willing to pay, what they're not willing to pay. Be willing to adjust. Be willing to make yourself more valuable and by helping more people. And the more you do that, and the more results you get people, the more confident you'll be, and the more you'll be able to charge over time. All right. So hopefully you love this. With that being said, if you want some help with this, just go ahead and put coach me below in the comments. Especially if you want a group, go ahead and throw coach me in the comments. Other than that, if you want, and I'll see if I have some time on my calendar, put you on, help you out for a few minutes. Other than that, we do have a live event that's coming up. So go to PCSbootcamplive.com, PCSbootcamplive.com. This is our annual event. We have all of our coaches come out. We train, we help. I want to take about 30 coaches this year. I want to get all of us in a room and be able to really just work closely, keep an eye on you throughout this year to really help you hit your goal. And I want the serious ones to do it. All right. So PCSbootcamplive.com. With that being said, slow motion is better than no motion. Let's work.